On with our media availability this morning at Texas. We are now joined by Texas native Chris Buescher, driver of the number 60 Advocare Ford in the NASCAR XFINITY Series. Chris currently leads the championship standings in the XFINITY Series. Chris, I understand you did a bit of media in Dallas before heading out here on Thursday or yesterday. Talk about being back home and racing at Texas.
Always nice to be back home for sure. Did a lot of, it's probably the busiest media day I've ever had yesterday. So we stayed very busy, which is good. Figure while we were out here. We've been traveling for about a week now. We came straight from the SEMA show out in Vegas, and I went mentally broke there pretty quick just looking around. But it's been nice to get back home. I went and saw my parents yesterday. They came up early and got caught up in one of the freak hailstorms out here. So it's been a very eventful week. We're just trying to make it calm down at this point. Hopefully get into this weekend and have everything go a lot smoother than it has up to this point.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start with Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Monser from Germany, Rendsburg Press Agency. Chris, I suppose driving for Rouge Fenway, you may be also involved in development work for the Sprint Cup cars. Can you maybe explain how different is driving a Sprint Cup car to Xfinity cars? Is there much different with driving behavior, setup, something like that?
They're quite different. Between the ride height rule and the horsepower difference, there's two of the biggest differences that I can feel, along with some other odds and end rules. They're fun to drive both ways. The Cup cars are a lot faster. I remember testing when we still had 900 horsepower, and I remember how much get up they had then. And that was a lot of fun. Kind of bummed I don't ever get to race them like that, but it's a big difference. But at the same time, they're getting closer as the horsepower comes down on the Cup side. And as the aero package is getting a little bit more similar with the drag package the way it is, and I guess as it evolves, it's gonna go down quite a bit on the Cup side. So it'll keep evolving, I'm sure. But we're gonna try and make sure that we know how the Xfinity car drives better than the Cup car.
All right, we'll go to Mike Hembry and then over to Mark.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Chris, 3 races to go. Have you crunched all the numbers and done all the scenarios and tried to figure things out, or are you just shooting for top 10s and hope things flow that way?
Yeah, we're not crunching numbers yet. There's the only number I know is if we were 100 and something points up right now, I'd feel good, but it's not the case. We got 3 more races, so for us it's top 10s. Let's go out here and run hard, be aggressive as we need to be to make sure we get some solid runs in. We know we've had the speed this whole year. We've been fast about everywhere we've gone. I look at Texas as a place where our mile-and-a-half program at Roush has been much stronger this year, especially as we get later in the year. It's getting better as we go. We look at racetracks where the asphalt is a little older, a little bit more wore out. Those have been really good for us. We ran really well at Homestead, at Atlanta. Darlington starting to fade back away. I mean, places like this have been really good for us this year. So I look at that as a good chance to go out here and get a top 5 and possibly win. We'll see what we got once we unload here in several hours. But for me, I've been pretty open about where I stand on points racing, and I don't like to just purely points race. But there is a bigger picture right now, and I fully understand that, and that's what we're working towards. But if we can go out here and get another win and 2 or 3 more top 5s, then really we'll be in good shape. I mean, there's not much else they can do.
All right, we'll go over here to Mark.
Mark Arrow, PRN. Chris, this is the first time you've really been in this kind of a pressure cooker. Have you reached out to anybody to ask, how did you handle this when you were in this situation, or are you just trying to fly by the seat of your pants?
I've reached out a little bit, and Jack has arranged stuff to try and help me understand really where we're at. The ARCA Championship in 2012, it's obviously not of the same caliber. It was a little bit more cushion there at the time, and here we are. We're in these last 3, and it's been extremely competitive. We've bounced around that 30-point to 20-point range pretty much the last 10, 15 weeks, it seems like. So, when you look at it like that, it is going to be tough through the last 3, but if we can just do what we've been doing and keep it in that 20, 30-point range when we get to Homestead, I feel really good about our chances. I mean, Homestead's another one where I feel like we should have a really legitimate shot at winning a race, at least a top 5. Honestly, Phoenix is the only one where, I feel like we need a top 10 out of it. And if we're better than we've been there in the past, we'll be okay. So we're just going to try and work towards that. But I've been able to sit down with Ricky and go through his two championships on the Xfinity side, and he told me that both of his were very different. One, he led up to the end and had to be a little bit defensive, and the other one, he was trailing and had to just be as aggressive as possible to go get it. Unfortunately, he told me he liked being behind and catching back up. He said that was easier on him, which didn't make me feel any better. But at the same time, it's ours to lose, so we can control our own destiny. We can't control what anyone else does. So I know that if we go out here and run top 10 and top 5 these last 3, that's going to be just fine.
All right, we'll go to Joey and then to Jim Utter.
Joey Barnes, TributeRacing.com. Chris, you've had a good year so far this year. Any plans for 2016 that are set yet?
Nothing set. It's been an awesome year for us. We gotten a handful of wins. Should have had another 2 that I'm saying we're extremely close. Look towards next year, and more than likely we're going to be doing another year of Xfinity, and I'm good with that. And I think as you look through, there's been a handful of names that have been rushed up ahead and tried to be put into something that they may have thought they were ready for, but it's a very big jump up to the next level. And I'm glad I got the handful of starts I did with Front Row earlier this year, because made you realize really quick that the competition level is a lot different. The intensity of the racing can be a lot different, especially as you close in on the later stages of a race. There's a lot of things that go with moving up. It's not just a matter of pure speed. There's a lot of things you have to learn, and if you're not ready and you don't perform at that level as soon as you move up, it's very easy to get forgotten about, to get labeled, and really not have that chance again as you go forward. So, if we're running another year in Xfinity next season in 2016, I'm all for it. I mean, I'm in no rush. I turned 23 a couple weeks ago, so I'm one of the older guys in Xfinity, I feel like now, but I'm in no rush. I feel good about where we're at.
All right, and last question to Jim Utter.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. Obviously, the struggles on the Roush on the Cup side are no secret this season, but I just wondered, with what you guys are in position to be able to accomplish, do you kind of feel like it would be kind of cool to kind of give the organization a bright spot this season in which it's had so many down moments?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Cup side is not hidden from anybody. Everybody knows the situation there, and everybody from our side of it is working extremely hard to fix it. We're a bunch of racers. We don't like running that way. I promise you that. And everybody in the shop is just as competitive as every one of the drivers. I mean, there's guys that really want to go out there and win and have been working at Roush for 30-plus years and are ready to get back to where we've been in the past on the Cup side. So, when we look at our side of things, it's been a really good year for us. And I don't have a good explanation as to why it is different between the two. I know that we have 4 teams on our side that work extremely well together. We have good notes from many years of a package with rules that have hardly changed or have just mildly changed and had some variances in, and that's enabled us to have a really good notebook as we go back to most of these racetracks. We have 8, 10, 20 races on this package at some of these racetracks that we go to, and that's an excellent notebook to look at and build off of when we go back to these places for the next time. So I think when you look at it like that, that's really helped us on this side, whereas the Cup side, as you're trying to catch up, if something changes as you've just figured something out that's helping you a little bit, you're starting over. You don't ever have a good baseline for the next change, and I think that's set us back a little bit more than it has than I think we thought it would. And I think that on the Xfinity side with the rules package, staying pretty consistent, that has helped us a lot.
All right, Chris, thanks for joining us today, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.